I haven't seen Anwar for a couple months. We met up at a Texas X's event where we were both speaking, and
you both lived to tell the tale.
We both lived to tell the tale. And
Yes, we did.
And
we did.
And I'm gonna tattle on him because I go up there and I'm like tempering expectations. I'm like, well, I think Texas is gonna be. They're going to be okay. They're going to be fine. And Anwar gets up there and blows the roof off. It's like, basically everything short of like, they're going to win a national championship.
He was playing to the audience,
Playing to the crowd.
Playing
to
the crowd,
baby. Playing to the crowd.
Know your audience. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me ask you. As,
WWE style.
he's just dropping promos all over the place. Can you explain to me how Texas beat Oklahoma? Because we're 2 weeks out of it, and I still don't understand.
I don't. I mean, I would love to sit here and say all these things make sense, and this is the reason why it's happened. But logically, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have a quarterback that throws for under 100 yards. It doesn't make sense for an offensive line that was putrid to all of a sudden dominate the line of scrimmage and to get over 300 yards rushing. It doesn't make any sense that 1 week prior they get blown out by TCU, and all we're thinking is, okay, what's Charlie Strong's future going to be? To the next week, they go and have a monumental win, and all of a sudden, everyone's like, he's the man for the job. It is very hard to really pinpoint. And that's kind of one of the things I kind of wrote about recently, which is, what we don't know is if this was kind of the Oklahoma game was a turning point, or was it really a tease? Because some of the things that we saw against Oklahoma, I just don't think are sustainable over the next 6 games. I don't really believe that you're going to continue to win games without being able to pass the ball. And I just don't really believe that, I don't know if they're going to be able to dominate the way that they did. I won't say I won't believe it. I just don't know if they'll be able to dominate. So I don't know how they won, but the K-State game, I think, will give us a good indicator of, hey, tease or turning point. I think we'll find out this weekend.
Are you with me in the sense that when I watch the Longhorns, I think if the offensive line plays well, they're pretty good. And if they don't play well, they're pretty much not going to win a game. To me, it all starts with the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think what you're saying 100%. I think most coaches will tell you every game is won at the line of scrimmage. On the offensive side, defensive side, every game is won on that level. And this is an offensive line. Again, it's when you looked at it and you said, all right, the Connor Williams, he's a great freshman, and Cedric Flowers, I mean, he got injured. I mean, and I said Flowers, but Kent Perkins got injured, and I was unsure of what to expect. And yes, all of a sudden these guys played well. But here's the most interesting thing. As I was talking to Cedric Flowers yesterday and was asking him about, the meeting that he had with Joe Wickline after the Oklahoma game, and we're all thinking, oh my gosh, these guys did great. He said all the guys graded out with a C grade. He goes, it may be one guy, Patrick Vahe, got like a B minus, and everyone got a C. And I'm like, well, what the heck was he graded them before that? Because if that was a C effort, then clearly everything before that had to be an F. So I'm 100% with you. It starts up front, and if this offensive line and even defensive line, but especially what you're saying to your subject, if offensive line can repeat what we saw against Oklahoma, then you feel good about this team maybe winning at least 4 out of 6 games and making it to a bowl game. So I'm 100% with you.
We're talking with Anwar Richardson of OrangeBlitz.com here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. Anwar, the other thing about it is that this was an Oklahoma offense that was mowing people down, and then the defense comes up with, I think unequivocally, its best overall performance. And the guy, to me, that it all started with, ironically, is a freshman in Malik Jefferson. What kind of spark has he given this defense?
I mean, Malik is the real deal, right? I mean, when you get a guy who is a 5-star, and 5 stars, as you guys know, and I'm sure you've already communicated to the audience, 5-star means I have at least a 50-50 chance this guy's going to be an NFL player. Mm-hmm. And you start thinking, okay, is the guy going to be able to live up to the hype? And the guy does. I mean, and what they did in that game is having Malik as a middle linebacker is fine to plug a hole. But having Malik on the outside and being able to rush the passer, that's where he's good at. I mean, that has to be his bread and butter going forward, because when he can see the play, when he can react, when he can be aggressive, when he can get in the flow of the game, you sense it. That's the one thing that I think makes really good players stand out, is when you can see them starting to have an impact in games. And when you can see momentum swaying, and you can start seeing that guy is doing something special. And that's what you're seeing out of Malik as an outside guy. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind he's got to be probably the freshman of the year, at least in the Big 12. And yes, he played well, but don't forget Holton Hill, on the outside either. I mean, that's a defensive back who, they've said go out there and do your thing. He's good. He's aggressive. He's a guy that he's another guy to watch out for. Malik is getting all the attention. Absolutely, he deserves it. But don't forget about another freshman, Holton Hill, in the secondary. He's doing a tremendous job.
You don't have to.
You don't have to sell me. You have to sell me. I have been waving my Holton Hill pom-poms for a couple years now. I've been a big fan. So let's look forward now. Obviously, the game this week against Kansas State's a super interesting one, coming off of a bye against a team that is just riddled with injuries, just absolutely decimated by injury. But at the same time, if there is a team that has had Texas's number over the past, I don't know, million years, it's Kansas State. It's Kansas State. Where are you at with this K-State-Texas game?
I will just say this season, every time I think I've had Texas figured out, I've been wrong. And I thought they would be competitive against Notre Dame. They weren't. I didn't think they were going to be that competitive against California, and Cal rather, and they were. I thought they'd be competitive against TCU, and they'd lose 50-7. I thought they would get blown out versus Oklahoma. They win 24-17. So every time I feel like I have a pulse of what this team is going to do, they do the opposite. So if you're a Texas fan, what you want me to do is think this team is going to get blown out. Because that's really your best opportunity for a victory. I'll give you the kiss of death. Because if I say they're going to win, you're in trouble. Yeah. So the kiss of death is they don't have a chance. But the jokes aside is, I'm unsure, of it. They having the week to really have some confidence, I think helps. They looked at that game versus Oklahoma, and I'm talking about when K-State played them, and they basically stopped watching the film because they didn't feel like that K-State team that they saw is going to be the one that they see this weekend. So that's a team, like you said, historically well-coached team. That's going to be a team that's going to come ready to play and come really looking for redemption and vindication, and what other better way to do it than to beat Texas in Austin. But I believe in my heart that Texas is probably going to win 4 out of 6 games, and Kansas State is a game that I believe they're going to win. I believe they're probably going to win against Kansas State. I think they're going to win Iowa State. I think they'll win Kansas, and I think they'll win Texas Tech. I'm unsure about West Virginia on the road, and I'm definitely not going to bank on a beating Baylor. But this is a victory I say they probably have, and I think it's an important game. I know as you're wrapping up, I know it's an important game because you lose one more, and now you're really in the danger zone as far as making the bowl, and all types of bad things happen that way. I think it's every game's a must win, but this one for sure they've got to have. And if they get this one, heck, they may be able to run off 3 straight. And if they can beat this and then go Iowa State, I mean, then you start getting some momentum. But if you ask me right now, I believe they're going to win. But if you want the opposite to be true, you want opposite George. They don't have a shot.
You heard it here first, everybody. Anwar Richardson saying no chance Texas beats Kansas State. No chance whatsoever. He is Anwar Richardson. Check out his fine work at orangebloods.com. Follow him on Twitter at Anwar Richardson. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Hey, guys, man, you guys have a great one.